Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me. This is GGF bringing you up one episode 107 of Let's Play Pillars of Eternity. Bong bong, mashallah. Hope you guys are doing well. It's your boy GGF. We're gonna get it in, have some fun. Once again, with just a fantastic game that has captured my every being. And yeah, we're in Heritage Hill. We just put it into the Within Strange Machine, Soul Machine. If you didn't see that last episode, I highly suggest pausing this, going to check that out, and coming back later to this one. It was very cool. We did a lot in that episode. And now we are going to... Akanta's no longer there. We are going to, there's a camping supply in there, yep. See what's what. We're going to head out of Heritage Hill where, I don't know if there's anything else to do here. Maybe go talk to her, not really. Probably head toward Twin Elms and Dyrford. So that's what we're going to do today. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's go, son. Bong bong. See if there's any recognition for anything we've done here.
Hello.
Oh. The tower, it's off. Does this mean the curse on Heritage Hill is lifted? I better get a manor in Brackenbury for this. It wasn't a curse, but yes, the district is safe again. I think it'll be some time before anyone will be willing to settle in the district again, but at least we can get started on restoring it. Cool. I'll keep an eye on things here. And let's see, we did Pearlwood Bluff, the Edelwon Bridge, the Woodend Plains. Probably head back to Stormwall Gorge. Yeah, continue exploring it. Should be interesting. See what's what. This is where we met Heravius. Botanical garden structure complete. Oh, we can build. Let's see. Oh, we have to go meet Lord Bernweger, a cruel ruler from the north, has arrived at the stronghold. He hopes to gain an audience with you concerning a local rebellion. Con finishes in 13 hours. And we can build something else, right? No? Yes? Okay. Chapel, might bonus, more security. Yeah, let's get a might bonus and more security. 1,500 copper, 2 days. Bong bong. We're down to 10k copper. I say down to, it's still a pretty healthy amount.
Laying low.
But we did buy the a magical item from... Oh, we forgot to go check the Dominels, House Dominel. Alright, here we go. Wait, let's do that. Very nice. Itama, can you get over there? No? Oh, we're closing the ground pretty quickly. Should be fairly easy. Yep, everybody just remain calm.
Thing isn't doing the job.
They're just progress. And they're lining up for us. Whoa, whoa, they are kind of doing some damage. Let's take the Pogre down. There we go. Wow, Alop is gonna go down. That does it for the Pogres. The Quogras.
Hey.
4 awakened wood.
Sure.
Oh, it looks like there might be some way down once we put in some sort of crest type deal. But we don't have the items for that yet, it seems. We can go all the way around.
Isn't this something?
We have here 7 silver fittings, 2 Audra, and a hidden stiletto. Okay, that'll do it for that. Pretty cool how we met Heravius here. His name is Heravius, right? Yeah. Can't wait to keep playing. My goal is to eventually play and get to Pillars 2. I'm super hyped. I wish I could start that today, but Settler's Arrow, it's a little bit, premature. I want to be able to finish this first. For the first time ever. But when we do, it's going to be a very joyous occasion. And we're going to keep playing Avowed as well, which is going to let us, that's basically Pillars 3. There's Dyrford Village. Let's keep exploring. We can go to Dyrford Village next and see what's up there. What do we got here? Enemy spotted. Elder Lion. Crossing the plains. Oh boy. Here we go. Wow. There. Attack.
I'm ready.
Balagina. Attack. Sagani attack there. Itamak attack there.
Need something?
Heravius attack there. Aloft. How about Chill Fog on like all of them? Oh, there's an Adragon. Oh wow. And a Delagon. The Adragon has got to be pretty wicked. Oh, a Dare. Whoa, a Dare went down. That's unexpected. Palagina. Bring him back, actually. And then do a Flames of Devotion. Where is she? Palagina. She brought him back quick. Lioness, take down the Elder Lion.
Hey.
Adair. Where's Adair? Right there, he's getting up. Knock down the Elder Lion over here. Elder Lion back here. Elzarian, switch to Stag mode. Heravius, switch to Stelgar mode. Oh, Itamak, heal Itamak. Heal Itamak. Oh, and there's blights. Oh my gosh. Elzarian, hang in there. Do carnage for whatever it's worth. Heravius is stuck. Go attack the Adragon. Palagina, hang in there. The Blight's near death. Ooh, I killed a Blight with Alot. That's good. We should be okay. The Adragon's getting injured. Oh, Palagina. Go fight. Where's Sagani and them? Fighting down here, the Elder Lion. Palagina. This Elder Lion should be going down pretty soon. Oh. Down it goes, and now we can take out... Oh, we did take it out.
Sure.
Dang, son. With those magical chicas, that really got a bit wicked. Awakened Audra, Awakened Wood, 2 Elder Lion Fangs, 4 Lion Hides.
I shall be discreet.
Dang, son. They took down a deer there. Haravius, you hungry? Oh, boy. Pilgrim's Crown. Barrett's Bell, maybe? Forget. Yep. Oh, Dead Adventurer. Springberry. 227 pawns, a scroll of defense. Which I know we have some more of somewhere. And a winged helm. Back up this way. Deer. A deer, get it? Back to that stone circle. The deer's just sitting there. I don't think we can talk to her, right? No. Just wanted to make sure. Flowers. Pilgrim's Crown, perfect. Now let's look at the northern exit, if anything. It's gonna go to Dyrford Village, pretty much.
You must gather your party before venturing forth.
Oh, wow. We know the whole party. Comes Itamak. Yeah, Dyrford.
I'm on the trail.
We won't head up that way yet. Looking for an Audra Arch in the woods as well. With a dare. Let's see if there's anything random up here. Doesn't appear to be. Got a hide or something. The Dragon Fang. Alright, let's come back here actually. Ooh. Advanced work. And we'll go down the gorge a little bit. Down to the water. Huh. Nothing secret, just the water. I don't know if that recedes at some point. I would think it does. Maybe when it's not raining, it doesn't get flooded down there. But let's head to Dyrford Village.
Quiet.
And see what's cracking there. Got a good amount of money to possibly buy a magical item or two if there's any there. Very cool. And that would be our next stop. Seems that way. 6 hours to get there. Mashallah. So, what do we have here? Find someone in town who knows about the ruins. Okay. Cowed, man. A bunch of them. How long we gotta stand out here? Until we find us, so keep your eyes peeled. Who are you looking for, Medreth? Us, we're just minding our own business. As soon as we catch her, it's back to Defiance Bay. Talk with Medreth. We're cooling our heels until Medreth says the job's done. See? An elf idles by the road, watching the village across the river. He nods as you approach, and the cowled figure standing near him falls silent.
Hail, traveler.
Greetings, friend. A slow smile forms as he eyes you. I've heard of you. Word has it you've been busy in Defiance Bay. He draws closer. I'm busy too, and eager to finish my business and get back to the city. What business is that? Haven't you heard? There's a murderer on the loose, said to have gone mad with grief and strangled a dozen healthy children when her own was hollow-born. He nods at the figures with him. We've come all the way from Defiance Bay to bring her to justice. She's here? He nods across the river. She's hiding out in the village. We'd go in after her ourselves, but the problem is she knows our faces. There's no telling what she'd do if she saw us coming, and would like to avoid any further unnecessary bloodshed. He leans closer. Her name's Nifra. She's in Orlin. We want to get her out of town so that we can deal with her cleanly. She knows we're looking for her, but if someone were to convince her that it's safe to leave... I don't have the intellect to figure out if something's amiss about this. I could draw her out. He nods. She won't know you. It'll be simple. I have a few questions for you. What is it? What did Nifra do exactly? She was responsible for the murder of all those babies in Defiance Bay, remember? Terrible thing, but we'll make her pay, all right.
How do you do?
Remind me who I'm looking for? I don't know exactly where in the village she is, but there aren't too many Orlins around here. I should get back to the search. Find Nifra and drive her out of the Dyrford. I should have said I'm not sure about this. It's not something I'd really want to do. Here's a river reed. Oh, the village is explored. Some peeps up there we'll get to. Let's collect our river reeds. And north of Dyrford is nothing. Some more stuff over there. Vasily Raskolnikov. You see a Zarb gurgle gently as it falls to the ground, the victim of a small blade to the throat. A tall man in dark armor wipes the blade clean on his cloak before padding onwards towards the next guard. Another flash and the second Zorp is down, and the next and the next. Finally, a scout spots him and raises a shout. Between one step and another, the man smoothly deposits the knife in his boot and draws two long swords, the closest Zorp in the process. He makes no sound but the sleek whistle of the blades as they pass through monster after monster before one lodges in the skull of one particularly hard-headed specimen. Unable to break it free, he discards his other sword and reaches for his spellbook. A cone of flames erupts from his hand, boiling the skin from three agonized Zorps nearby and causing the remaining to scatter. The earth shakes and spikes of rock begin to pierce the surface as a nearby Zorp high priest attacks. A moment too late, as the bespelled man moves unnaturally quick from ground to ground, attacking the remaining Zorps with sword and spell. Sweat burns his eyes as he conjures an enormous ball of fire, sending it screaming through the air towards the high priest and her remaining followers. Nothing but charred corpses remain after it passes. He falls to his knees, panting, almost 80 Zorps falling around him. Just as he moves to get up, the ground begins to shake once more, twice, 3 times. Huge footsteps, and then he dives behind a rock spike, a returning volley of fire singeing his cloak. The Drake has noticed him. Oh, very cool. Artevin Selwintis. You see a fallen log lying on the moss-covered ground. The surrounding woods are quiet, everything calm and undisturbed. Okay. A small bird lands on one end of the log, warming itself in the sun. This man emerges from the trees, moving quickly but not quite running. He places each foot with a deliberate precision, making almost no noise. He jumps, landing on the log, and runs along its length. Only when he reaches the end does the bird take flight, startled as if it didn't realize he was there. He jumps down from the log, landing next to a tree with a small branch jutting out from it just above waist level. He grabs the branch and pulls himself forward, giving him a short-lived burst of speed. He's coming to the edge of the forest, and buildings can now be seen through the trees. Sounds of life make their way through the air and to his ears. He leans forward, running to push his way through the tree line and onto the road beyond. He pulls himself up short and looks around, breathing heavily from the exertion. He doesn't seem to find what he's looking for and takes a place leaning on a nearby building. Several minutes pass and he smiles, pushing himself off the wall and walking out to meet a figure running up the road, breathing heavily and shaking his head, or its head. He informs the figure that he's going to have to try harder if there's any chance of beating him. He puts an arm around the other man's shoulder, reminds him that there was an ale at stake, and says it's about time to pay up. Bit of a race, and then we have Rare New Halshadre, a woman. You see this woman lounging on a large divan. She takes dates from an ornate glass bowl and stuffs them absent-mindedly into her mouth while she stares out the window. She's unkempt, half-dressed, and occasionally yawns, seeming bored with her surroundings. Her room shares the same unkempt look, as if it hasn't been cleaned in weeks. A layer of dust covers everything. Clothes and partially eaten food litter the floor, and the furniture is in need of upkeep and repair. A knock comes from the door to her chamber, and she lets out a quiet grunt, ignoring it. She grabs another handful of dates and starts throwing them into the air, one at a time, attempting to catch them in her mouth. She frequently misses, the dates bouncing to the floor, forming a makeshift ring around the divan. The knock comes again, and she jumps, missing yet another date, which hits her on the forehead before rolling away. She grunts and looks at the door, exhaling sharply through her nose. A muffled and distant yell comes from somewhere outside the room. She rolls over on her side, facing away from the door, and pulls a pillow over her head, trying to drown out the noise. She lies there for several minutes, eyes slowly closing as she slips into sleep. The door opens and someone enters the room, hesitantly making his way over the floor to stand by the divan. He reluctantly reaches out and touches her shoulder, shaking it gently. The pillow falls from her head and she turns to the man, a confrontational look on her face. "Mistress," he says, kneeling before her, "we need your help." The woman sighs heavily, rolling her eyes, and starts to stand. She grabs one last handful of dates and walks from the room, chewing noisily. Alright, Rare New.
Eyes open.
Come up here and get the golden celery. Got a building here. And this is a town of Dyrford. Then there's the whole Twin Elms region, which could be a big city called Twin Elms. It looks like another Defiance Bay. Oh, excuse me. Awesome stuff if so. So here we have a chapel or something. There's the Cowed Man and crew. And just to double check over on this side and leave here, there's nothing to the west. There's nothing else further up here, so let's go in to the chapel. Or whatever it may be.
Keeping an eye out.
Harbinger, Bayadmar, and Selby. Talk to Bayadmar. No one trusts me with anything more than lighting candles. Flames dance amid scattered offerings. Keys, coins, and the tiny skulls of birds and mice are mired in the melted and hardened wax.
Out with you!
The old man...
I already told you what... I'm sorry. I thought you were one of those ruffians.
The old man turns as you enter. His face is covered in bruises and his lower lip is swollen. He stops and peers at you, squinting through a black eye. Looks like someone's beating us here.
How may I help you?
He gives you something between a smile and a wince. What happened to you?
I never saw their faces. Strange hooded men asking about those ruins. Cleoban Relag. Most of the brigands who come through here asking about the ruins are looking for a few ancient trinkets. But these people knew the name, and they were in a hurry.
He hobbles over to the filmy window and peers through the dirty glass.
They wanted to know where Cleoban Relag was. I tried to keep it from them, but I couldn't hold out forever. I don't know what they were up to, but it can't be good.
He carefully probes a patch of blue skin around his cheekbone and limps away from the window, shaking his head. Aloth looks at you, frowning. That does sound like the leaden key, doesn't it? The old priest nods politely. Is there something else I can help you with? Tell me more about Dyrford. Folk here tend to keep to themselves, as they do in most towns this deep in the Dyrwood. They're suspicious of travelers, but with all the brigands and refugees moving through the area, who can blame them? This is a temple of Bareth. What can you tell me about Bareth? Bareth is the most universal of all the gods. It oversees portals and cycles of all kinds, even life and death itself. Under Bareth, an ending is merely a passage to another beginning. Bareth has many representations across time and across cultures. Around the Dyrwood, you'll commonly see it depicted as the Pallid Knight or the Usher. The Clonfothans, however, know it as Benwyn or as Bunin I Anq and Anq I Bunin. Tell me about the Pallid Knight. She's one of the youngest manifestations of Bareth, but a familiar one nonetheless. Stories describe her as a gaunt knight in black armor, with black eyes, black hair, and milk-pale skin. She demands an impossible toll from travelers who have tarried too long on her lord's road. Some challenge her only to slay themselves in the process. Who's the Usher? Kith have written stories, songs, and poems about the Usher for centuries. Sometimes he's folk, sometimes dwarf, and sometimes merely a walking skeleton. He never speaks, but he guides the way to death and the next life. He also creates the circumstances for the wayward to stumble into their own graves. I've never heard of Bunin I Anq and Anq I Bunin. It means life and death in life, respectively. You see them as two skeletal figures, one male and one female. Explorers have found them carved opposite one another in doorways, but I know of no particular legends that speak of them. Thanks for the information. Of course, Bareth was once more widely worshipped in this area, but it is a silent god. He smiles sadly. These days, people find themselves in need of clearer answers. Can you tell me where to find the
The
ruins?
Glanfathan tribe that guards the ruins will kill anyone who trespasses there. And they'll retaliate against us, too, if history is any indication. We've had too many fortune seekers stir up trouble of late. If I'm to tell you, I'll need to know your reason for wanting to go.
The old priest tugs on his beard and frowns. Heravius folds his arms and stares at you with one eye and a scowl. So this is where I say, go into the ruins and I'll kill you, and that's when you say, Heravius, I'm a watcher and you're no match for all of us, and we've got a good reason for this. And then I give up trying to argue with you, and leave you to dig your own trespasser's grave. And I'm only being half metaphoric. We sometimes make Deerwoodens dig your own grave before we kill you. When the kids hear about it, it's a fabulous deterrent. A dangerous plot is unfolding there. I've got to stop it.
If that's the case, then we may already have trouble headed our way. I'll have to take you at your word. You'll find Cleoban Relag here. Whatever trouble you find there, please end it quietly and try to stay out of the ruins.
A weary sigh wheezes out of his throat, and he pulls out a faded map and points to a spot in the woods. Gain 540 XP, farewell. Travel to Cleoban Relag.
On the hunt.
Oh, still as stones added. The quest expires in 2 days. Let's go ahead and check that out. Training grounds construction started. Rewards 15% XP, 5 mossy rock, 150 to 300 copper and treasure, minor item. Duration 2 turns. Willow farmers in the Exometal Plains discovered a large and elaborate ring of small Audra pillars in a secluded southern valley. Though presumed to be connected to the Engwithans in some way, the pillars do not appear to be connected to any ruins. However, since the site was discovered, farmers from up to 50 miles away have gone missing, eventually discovered days or weeks later in the Ring of Stones, permanently petrified. As the Willow have little experience with Audra pillars, they're calling upon Raed Sarens, Deerwoodens, and Glanfathans for help. We'll assign Zawa to that. Shouldn't take too long. We still have about 7 days to visit with Lord Greenweger. Kana finishes in 2 hours. Very good. Let's get out of here. And let's cross the bridge.
I shall be discreet.
Beautiful little stone bridge here. A word, traveler. I only require a moment.
Gods keep you.
The guard sighs with relief as he looks at you. What are the odds? Stuck in this backwater only to meet the famed champion of Defiance Bay. Barrett's wheel brings mercy today indeed. His demeanor grows serious. Perhaps you could help. I don't suppose you saw a young elven noblewoman on the road. I'm stuck in this wretched place with the rest of my unit until we find her. Who is she? Lady Elise. He bites his lip. She's the daughter of Lord Nestor Harand, and she's gone missing. He sighs. Perhaps you could go speak with Lord Harand at the inn. He'll be grateful for the assistance. And it could be the villagers will open up to you more than they have to us. New quest, speak with Lord Harand. Cool, so we're picking up some Dyrford quests. I wouldn't expect there even to be a lot here, but there is already.
And what do we have here?
Something in the trough. Seems like just a little village, but rope and grappling hook. Just stick that in the stash. Gold rot chew. Everybody's got enough of the gold rot chew. Okay. Very cool. Villager. Can't remember the last time we had a healthy birth in the village. Let's check this place out. The mill slowly grinds away at a trough of grain.
There's something you don't see every day.
Ooh, something in the stuff here. 2 balloon. 2 grain. Rice. Grain. Have you been to Defiance Bay? I heard there's no hollowborn there. The Lord staying at the Dracogan is just about worn out his welcome. Dracogan. Dracogan, I guess. The Dracogan. I think sounds better. Let's keep exploring the Dyrford village. See what's in here. Take the vegetables. Home house around guard. Dracogen Inn. You must have seen something. We've already told you we haven't. Stop peeking in our windows. I don't suppose you've seen a young elven noblewoman around these parts. Lord will have bigger problems if his guards keep pushing us around. Not many new faces these days. Most are eager to leave Dyrford. Dracogen Inn. I'm gonna come down here first. Rumbald. A man paces angrily in front of a wrecked animal pen, his sun-weathered face twisted with ire. He's so wrapped up in his fury he doesn't seem to notice you. Gallowayne slobbering beasts, blazing bloody effigy, thrice damned salty wench and her soggy. It's probably not the best way to pray to the gods. A fat lot of good they've done me so far. Just look at this mess. My pen ruined and all but a few measly runts gone. At least you're still in one piece. That's something to be thankful for. But these pigs are my livelihood. What am I supposed to do now? He bites his lip and closes his eyes. His nostrils flare with each quick, angry breath. Wife's always telling me to mind my temper. Just breathe deep and count to 10. He sighs. An ogre moved into the area not long ago. Folk had been seeing glimpses and tracks out in the wood, but it seemed to be staying away from town. Or so we all thought, until it made off with my pigs. Now everyone's afraid it's going to develop a taste for Kit, if it hasn't already. Did you see the ogre take your pigs? What else would have destroyed my pen and made off with my herd? And at the same time, the rest of the village is seeing a 10-foot monster in the forest. I know it's too late to get my pigs back, but it set my mind at ease to see that thing's head shorn from its neck. In fact, you bring its ugly pate to me, and I'll trade you for something for it that's of less use to a farmer like me than to a routed-looking sort like yourself. What do you know about the ogre? It's the same as any other, I'm sure. A big, ugly son of a brook with a nasty temper and an appetite to match. Treegill could tell you more. He claims to have seen it in the wood. You can find him in his shop right by the broken tower. Need something else? I've been sent to find an Orland named Nifre. Know where she is? Never even heard of her. Find the ogre's lair
take a look.
somewhere in the wilderness outside of Dyrford Village. Piglets! House around guard going around. Very cool. This Dyrford Village. Just Dyrford, I should say. We're at the bottom of the map here. But the map still juts down this way to the east. It's your house around guard. Of all the places for that girl to get lost, why'd she have to do it here? Haran's men already asked us about the girl. What more do they want? Winfrith's pleasant enough, but once you get him talking... Can't get him to stop, huh? Let's grab the Pilgrim's Crown. Yep. Always useful. Well, it goes quite a ways east. Ooh, more of it. We'll cut back up here. Grab the fruit. I mean, it's free, free stuff for crafting. There's the inn. Much more to check out. There's the ruins. Villagers, let's head to the inn. Let's see what's up. This is so thrilling, man. I love this exploration. So much cool stuff everywhere. Truly awesome. Villagers. At least we're not under some tyrant like those poor sods in Gilded Vale. When these lords have problems, they blame honest kith. Typical. Why does some highborn think we'd take his daughter? We've got enough trouble as it is. Have Haran's soldiers been harassing you too? The roads are more dangerous than usual with that ogre about. Most who pass through nowadays are refugees or bandits. Could have sworn I heard the ogre just outside my window last night.
I just want to find her. Surely even you can understand that.
We're decent folk, my lord. Perhaps you should leave and check the wilds.
Lord Haran. Nanauki Faral. Vibrant history contained in the essence of the woman's soul. You see this woman running through the streets of a small city. She pushes her way through the crowd, glancing over her shoulder as she does. Her clothing is torn and her hair disheveled, even though she appears to be attempting to escape from someone. Her eyes sparkle with joy. Her mouth is pulled back in an enormous grin, and occasionally a small giggle works its way out of her throat. While looking over her shoulder, she runs headlong into a well-dressed man standing at one of the market stalls. The moment she sees the man she's run into, her face changes. Gone is the glee, replaced by fear. Her grin twists into a frown, her bottom lip quivering. The man, seeing her appearance, expresses concern for her well-being, and she leans against him, weaving a tale of a brutish man with wandering hands. As she speaks, his own hands travel over his body, seeking and exploring. Her own hands travel over his body. There's a shout from across the crowd, and they both look over to see a large, angry man approaching, roughly pushing his way through the crowd that separates them. She stiffens against him, feigning fear. The man tells her not to be afraid and steps in front of her to block the path of the figure who is coming nearer. The woman smiles, slowly backing away from them both, then lets out a gleeful cackle. Her protector turns, confused, and sees her departing, laughing and shaking a coin purse. She spins and races off through the crowded marketplace. Confused, the man looks at his belt. His face hardens and he yells, joining the chase after the laughing woman, losing herself in the crowd. Inaki. This table's been scarred and stained from decades of use. Portrait depicts a man and a woman dressed in a Dira garb that would have been in style a century ago. The heavy frame has been battered, and the plate that once bore the patron's name has been scratched out. They share a passionate embrace, which seems at odds with the disgust on their faces.
On the hunt.
Hail and well met.
Sid, a redhead, stands by the fire, tuning her lute and plucking its strings. She hums snatches of a melody as she goes. First time at the Dracogen. Normally I'd have a song ready, but I haven't quite worked out this tune yet. I'm writing some chants about the founding of this inn. Say, you interested in the story? I haven't finished the chants, but I could tell you about it all the same. Sure, let's have it. Palagina rolls her golden eyes and exhales for an excessively long time through her nose. It was built in the time of Hadret's rebellion, and a dear and lady Thainu once had a keep here. One of the towers still stands, but the rest is said to be buried under the village. Anyway, she stuck to the side of the Empire, and a contingent of Duke Hadret's Knights of the Crucible helped the farmers and colonists in the area turn her keep to rubble. This inn was the first building that sprang up from the ruin, built with some of the same bricks the colonists had pulled from the Lady Thainu's castle, they say. Supposedly, the quarterstaff of her chief wizard even got lost in the construction, mortared into a wall or nailed under a floorboard. Anyway, the inn was supposed to be a haven and a meeting place while the locals built their new town. What's a Lady Thainu? A Thane, well, it's supposed to be Thane. A Thane or Thainu is a man or woman who's part of the military elite. A knight, if you will. Typically, the position is inherited. A Lord Thane or Lady Thainu owns land and also commands several unlanded Thanes. The woman who last held the keep here came from a long line of landed Thanes. And what do you mean by supposed to be? Deerwoodens are an ornery lot, and the more these new neighbors met, the more they argued. They realized they didn't agree on much besides ousting the old lord. The biggest divide was over the Glonfothans and their nearby ruins. Hadret's knights and their supporters wanted to keep the peace, but a group of misfits with more anarchic leanings that had formed in town wanted to go after the tribes the same way they'd gone after their lord. Soon, the villagers were fighting with each other as much as with the Adirans. In the end, memories of the Broken Stone War and the War of Black Trees were fresh enough that the Duke's soldiers won the day. Most of the other villagers came around eventually, but some of the core troublemakers left to join the front lines of the War of Defiance, and others, I've heard, found their way into the Gilded Compass, the most forward-looking of the Glonfothan tribes. The Guided Compass. Guided Compass. I don't know if I believe that part myself, but it makes a good story. She points to the east wall. There's a portrait of one of the chief rabble-rousers and his rival in the peacekeeping faction. Someone's idea of a joke. I don't think they were particularly amused. That's why they're embracing, but have looks of disgust. Okay, you are a true bard. I'm losing my voice here, guys. I apologize for that. Let me see if I can hit my water bottle and get a little better here. I want to hear about the Broken Stone War. That was the first major conflict between the original Adiran settlers and the Glonfothans. Happened 3 years into colonization when some farmers knocked over an Adra men here. That was part of an Engwithan ruin. The war didn't last long, but it spread quickly and claimed thousands. In the early weeks, most of the colonists didn't even realize there was a war going on until the Glonfothan raiders hit their villages. There'd been small, spontaneous skirmishes between the colonists and the locals before then, but this was organized, and it was the start of decades of violence between the colonists and the Glonfothans. As you can see, Deerwood's full of history, even in little villages like this. That's why I love it. Part of why I love it. Tell me about the War of Black Trees. It started back in the colonial days, almost 30 years after the Broken Stone War. Even though isolated conflicts still broke out between the settlers and the Glonfothans, both sides had agreed officially to peace. Edrang Hadret, Admeth's father, was Grafe at the time. As part of peace negotiations, he'd signed treaties prohibiting Adiran colonists from looting in Gwithan ruins. However, he'd been unable to outlaw the use of captured Glonfothans as slaves. What's a Grafe? A Grafe is the governor of a colony and is subservient to the Adiran emperor. The early leaders of the Adira colony in the Dyrwood, including Edrang and Admeth Hadret, were Graves. At the start of the War of Defiance, Admeth Hadret declared himself Duke of an independent Dyrwood, rather than Grafe of the Emperor's colony. It was the same term used for the leaders of the newly independent Valian republics. Anyways, we haven't had a Grafe since. I see. Indeed, the taking of Glonfothan slaves had continued to be a source of conflict. It came to a head when Imperial agents, aided by certain earls in the Dyrwood, began looting the ruins again. See, the Empire had never actually agreed to Hadret's treaties on the matter, and the recent secession of the Valian republics likely left them eager to weaken Hadret's position. The looting sparked a brutal slave uprising and a guerrilla campaign among the Glonfothans. Edrang Hadret was too old to lead forces into battle, and so he sent his son, Admeth. Admeth made a costly but effective decision that ended the war faster than anyone could have imagined. He burned the forest near the Aisha Ian River, could be Isha, the Isha Ian River, to keep the Glonfothan warbands from retreating. Thousands of Glonfothans died, and as Admeth repeated his scorched earth tactics in the following months, he wore down the remainder of their forces. To this day, over 150 years later, there are still sections of the Dyrwood where the trees are nothing but bare, charred trunks. Farewell, very cool. Villager. People who can afford to are fleeing to the cities where the legacy hasn't hit so hard. Used to be a castle here. We tore it down during the revolution. Villager, words reach us about your exploits in Defiance Bay. Huh, okay.
Easy does it.
Aorn, could that be another companion? Have you been to Defiance Bay? I heard there's no Hollowborn there. You'd think having an ogre nearby would scare off some of the brigands. Why, it's you! Thank you, friend. You've given me another chance, and I mean to make the most of it. I've been telling everyone around here about how you helped me. Oh, I don't remember Aorn. Sounds vaguely familiar.
I'll see what I can find.
There's Dengler. Pace. What are you doing in the kitchen? Dengler will get you sorted out with food and drink. Kana finishes escorting the supplicant, and returns to the stronghold. I guess that went okay. And
I'm here.
Skani, can you disappear over here enough to...
I'm ready.
Mm-hmm.
Ready, Watcher.
Possibly, maybe. Oh, it's only 3 beers anyway. Heavy, sweet perfumes emanate from the barrels. The stab joints are stained dark brown and dull purple. Dengler.
Hail and well met.
The innkeeper digs inside a mug with a dirty rag. His eyes under his thick brows are tired but watchful. He gives you a quick nod as you approach the bar. Don't see many travelers these days. Something I can do for you? What was your exchange with that nobleman about? He looks up from polishing his tankard and glowers at the Lord. Folk around here's decent. They mind their own business. You want to stick your nose in it, go talk to him yourself. I have questions about Dyrford. He runs his rag around the rim of the mug. Ask. Have you seen an Orlan called Nefri? He jerks his head at the stairs. Twitchy lady, that one. Tell me about the village. Walk from one bridge to the next and you've seen it. We're quiet, hard-working folk. We keep to ourselves and don't take to being pushed around. He glares at the well-dressed man standing off to the side. Used to be a castle here, built by some family of Adiran Thanes back when the Empire first came. Only one tower still standing, and that's part of Treegill's shop now. Sid, that bard by the fire, could spin you the yarn if you're so inclined. Who lives in Dyrford? Not many anymore. Hard to keep people around when everyone hears birthing Hollowborn. We got a few who stick around and do business. Treegill's the leather courier. Hendina crafts potions, and Winfrith trades in general goods. Rumbald's a pig farmer, or was anyway. Tell me about Treegill. He's a courier. Treats leather and makes armor and a few other goods with it. Problem is, the smell of tallow and deer shit tends to put people off their food, and his shop's right next door. What about Hendina's story? Lady's a clever hand with potions and poultices. Got herself into trouble with a nest of worms, so I hear. Her cart's on the east end of town. And Winfrith? Been around even longer than I have. Nice enough fellow, but never could find his way to the end of a sentence. His shop's across the square. Something happened to Rumbald's pigs, I take it. Dang ogre carried them off. Now he squeals more than his herd ever did. He shrugs. It's rotten luck. Let's go back to my previous questions about Dyrford. He runs his rag around the rim of his mug. Ask. You said you don't see many travelers. Of course not. Why would they come here? We got bandits on the road and an ogre in the forest. As that yapping fool Rumbald will tell you. Worse yet, hasn't been a healthy child born here in over a year. Most kit that come here are just passing through. About that ogre. You don't hardly see him this close to town. Ogres and kit don't mix well. Ugly bastards, and that's why they're smart enough to know that much. You want to know more? Talk to Rumbald. His farm's southwest of here. Never mind, I want to talk about something else. I like to order food and drinks. He does have some good food, including Dragon Age goodies, camping supplies. We can finally sell the grimoire. I think we read this. I think so. Yeah. Yep, so we can sell that. Part 6 of the Deerwood. Scroll of Fireball. Could be good to have. Walking Shadows. Restore Light Endurance. 19.1 in an area of effect. I'd rather probably just sell that. And Scroll of Protection. Minus 50% duration of hostile effects. Fair enough. Potion of Power. Scroll of Defense. 20 all defenses. Let's give that to Palagina. Prayer against fear. Okay. Walking Shadows. +3 stealth, that's pretty cool, and a big radius for whatever that's worth. Alright, we'll get 176. And we still have food available. We can make a level 8 adventure for 2,000 copper. Reroll some peeps. Got a bunch of party members, son. 12, actually 13. 7 and 6. Alright. Very good, very good.
I'll see what I can find.
Let's go talk to Lord Harad. Don de Valero. Ah, the man's soul. You see a man open the door of a house, slow with fatigue. He steps inside, unlacing his boots, rubbing his temples, wrinkle of a smile lighting his face as he moves into a generous kitchen. He calls for someone, slicing himself some bread. The house creaks gently in response. His lips purse, and he pads out of the kitchen into a large room with a staircase. Chewing slowly, he takes the stairs one at a time, calling once more. No response. His body freezes for a moment as he walks into a room upstairs. Nothing on the lone bed, but an abundance of faded felt toys. Moving faster, he checks each room, his calls growing more urgent. No response. Any sign of exhaustion is gone, replaced with limber panic. He checks cupboards, baths, anywhere a child might hide. Nothing. Then a letter next to the door he came in from, with a queer symbol on its wax seal, one he'd seen before. He crumples, shoulders shaking against the hard wall. Nobody sees him weep. Oh. Lord House are on guard. The guard keeps his eyes on the door. If you have information about Lady Elise, you should speak with Lord Harond. See how long we've been playing. Time just flies. 1 hour and 1 minute. I can't believe it. Guys, we gotta wrap it up here. We'll talk to Lord Harond next time, and then head upstairs and keep exploring Dyrford. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe. If you want to be a huge help to the channel, guys, become a member. Info and links are in the description, and I hope to see all y'all next time. Was this 107? Did I, that's weird. I don't remember it being 107, but okay. So until next time, guys, and I do hope you come back for more. Be well, live well, stay well. Much love, peace, and joy. I'd say probably another 100 episodes coming, if I'm honest. I really want to keep playing. If, you know, not just for the game itself, which is obviously an amazing game, but just to get to Pillars 2 and play more Avowed recklessly as I can. So, see you guys next time. Ciao for now.